Do you want the simplest and easiest villager trading hall in Minecraft? Well, this is the design for you. This super basic villager trading hall can be built any size or shape that you want, and it works on all Minecraft platforms, including Bedrock and Java Edition. The super easy trading hall uses a minecart to deliver all of your villagers from a holding cell or a villager breeder directly into your trading hall. It is super easy to build and extremely cheap as well. It is literally just a little bit of rail and a redstone torch for every single cell that you put together. You also have the option of turning off a cell just by flicking a lever. That way you can save that cell for later for a specific villager. This way you can kind of organize your villagers better. So how this works is you pick up your villagers from somewhere using a minecart, and then each one of these cells just has a pressure plate to detect if there is a villager in there. If there is a villager in there, that's going to turn off your redstone torch, which will turn off the activator rail. And if there isn't a villager in there, well, then as soon as you have a minecart come through here with a villager in it, as you can see, that guy's going to get ejected from the minecart right into the cell, turn off that redstone. That way no other villagers go in there. And as you can see, this is all of the redstone for the entire system. It's literally a pressure plate, a redstone torch, and then a little rail line out the back. And that is it. Now, of course, you can hide the villager if you just put in a stair or something right here. That way, the front of the villager trading hall looks a lot nicer and cleaner. And of course, this build is just the minimum number of blocks required. You can decorate this thing whatever way you want with whatever blocks you decide. And of course, all the workstations for your villagers go right in front of them. They have direct access to this thing, and you can shut the trapdoor on this guy if they're a bad villager and they need to go in timeout, or if you just want to help protect them from baby zombies or whatever else might be in the area. So this design also works on Java Edition as well. As you can see, a brand new villager just got put into the cell, so you can make this on any platform that you want. And as you can see, you can make this villager trading hall as long as you want. It really is customizable to any spaces that you have. So let's go over the mechanics of how exactly this villager trading hall works. This is all relying on Activator Rails. Activator Rails will kick mobs out of minecarts and make minecarts kind of shake like this. Not to be confused with powered rails. These ones just make minecarts go fast. So basically, we're going to be having our villager pickup area on one side of the build over here, and then the minecart's going to run over that powered activator rail, send the villager up there, which will turn off the rail, and now the minecart's going to put the villager into the next cell over here. So if we let that pick up the next guy, so as you can see, that's going to fill in all the villagers in your trading hall just going down the line. And of course, if you want to turn off a cell and you don't want any villagers in there for some reason, you can simply put a lever on the front of that, and now no villagers will go in there because your torch is turned off. So this is a slightly directional build, but it can be built in any direction or anywhere that you want in the Minecraft world. So as you can see, we were filling in the villagers from the right side to the left side, but you can also make them fill in from left side to right side, just depending on what exactly you have going on in your build area. And to do that, what you want to do is flip around these torches. So these torches should always be facing away from wherever your villagers are going to be coming in. So if our villagers are coming in from this side, the torch is going to be on the other side of the block, and that goes for absolutely all of these. It's a really simple change, but this allows us to have the activator rails always put the villagers into the correct cell. If you did not flip around these torches, then they would be going into wrong cells and doubling up, and you just don't want to mess with that. So now if we start putting some villagers into this system, as you can see, it's going to fill in from left to right, and that is basically all it takes to reverse this system. Now, an important note is that you cannot have any blocks right next to your rail line, otherwise your villagers are just going to get placed right here. You also have to have these slabs in place because that's going to stop the villagers from getting placed on the rail lines. And then, of course, you also need a block right here, like a piece of glass or a stair block, and that's going to make sure that your villagers actually go into the cell. If you like these kinds of Minecraft tutorials, then make sure to subscribe and let's hop into it. So I'm going to show you how to build a 10-cell villager trading hall that goes around a corner. This will show you all the basics of how to build this design, how to expand it, and also how to wrap it around corners. And we'll get to that in a moment, but the materials listed that you need for approximately every cell of this build, because it is expandable, is in this chest right here. So if you want to build 100 cells, just take all these materials and times it by about 100, right? Now for the villager trading hall that I'm going to show you how to build with 10 cells, you're going to need absolutely everything in this chest right here. Now you will need a couple of beds and a minecart for your villager trading hall. Now how you actually get your villagers into your minecart to get them into your trading hall is up to you. Everyone has a different situation going on, but I'll also be showing you how to build this simple little setup right here. Basically it's just a 2x2 of water. You drop your villagers in there from your villager breeder or whatever. They get pushed into the corner and the minecart only goes up once it has a villager in it. That way way it has enough momentum. Really simple build, and all the materials you need to build that are in the chest right here. So this is the area that you'll need to build your villager trading hall. It's going to be 16 blocks wide, 16 blocks long. It's going to be 3 blocks above the ground and 2 to 4 blocks below the ground. So these white blocks are where the villagers are actually going to be standing and where you're going to be trading with them. So go ahead and place these in every other block where you want your villagers to go. Now, if you're going to be building this on the corner, then make sure they are in a diagonal like this. You don't want to have 2 villagers on the diagonal like this, because then, like, where's the workstation going to go? It's going to look ugly. You don't want to mess with that. So make sure there's a block gap between your villagers diagonally on the corner. Now keep in mind, you're going to need 3 blocks of spare room to the side of your villager trading hall on the very end. So I can see we got 3 blocks right here. And then on the other side, we also have another 3 blocks just for the rail line and stuff. Now my marked out build area is 4 blocks deep right here, but keep in mind that the entire build is only 3 blocks wide. So it's really just these 3. The 4th block is only marked out because you need to mine this out by 2 blocks going downwards. So now that we know where our villagers are going, we're going to mine out that trench on the 4th block back. So just go ahead and get rid of all these blocks going around the entire villager trading hall. And of course, you need to make this a 2 block deep trench as well, going all the way around. So now that the trench is in place, we need to mine out the blocks directly behind our villager cells. So this is where they're going to be sitting. That's where the workstation goes. We need to mine out this entire row of blocks going all the way around the build. So now you need to decide which side your villagers are going to get picked up from. So I'm going to have my villagers on this side right here. That's where the minecart's going to pick them up. And then the villagers are going to go from this side to this side of the villager trading hall. You could easily have the villager pickup be on that side. It doesn't really matter. It's just going to change which direction your torches are placed in. So let's go behind our little block right here. Remember that our villagers are going to be picked up from this side. So we're going to mine out this block right here and place a redstone torch on the side away from our villagers. And then you want to do that for every single one of your little places where you want to have a villager. Of course, make sure this is a solid block. And now you want to place in a pressure plate above these as well. Now, these can be any type of pressure plate that you want. It doesn't matter, so choose one that looks nice to you. We're also going to be placing in our rails right here, so make sure that you have some nice blocks in the floor that you can place rails on. So now we're going to place in our rails. To start with, you're going to place in an activator rail next to each one of your torches. Again, your villagers are going to be coming from this side over here, so make sure they're on the far side away from those villagers. Really important. So we're just going to build that up going to the corner. Now on the corner here, we're just going to have in our 2 pieces of powered rail and then a regular rail on the corner to bend around. Now anywhere that we have a piece of powered rail, you can just go ahead and put a lever on the side of the block to power that like so. Now at the very beginning over here, you're going to have yourself a solid block lined up like 3 blocks over from your villager cell. And this is where the minecart's actually going to like stop and run into a block so that it can bounce back. So we're also going to place in ourselves a lever right there, and then just a couple pieces of normal rail, another one. Let's put in a powered rail right here, and then just fill in the rest of the gaps with some regular rail. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So we can use that same methodology to build up this side as well. So replace these blocks with your torches going away from your villager cell. Just get all those in like so. Each one of those is going to have a piece of activator rail next to it like that. And now for the rails, you can mostly just put in some regular rails, and then every couple of cells I would put in a powered rail. So like mine's going to be going right here in the middle, a couple more rails, and then on the very final block over here, we put in a solid block for the rails to actually go into and bounce the cart back, and then you can power that with a lever. And then of course put in the pressure plates on each one of your villager cells, and that's like all the technical details of your build completely done. And now we just need to build up the main structure. So building up all the villager cells is really easy. So we're going to place in a temporary block above that piece of rail right there, some solid blocks to either side, and then build that up by another layer. We need another temporary block right here, solid block above them, and then a trapdoor on the front. Now you can go ahead and remove that temporary block and that one as well. You need to go around to the back side of the build, and we're going to place in ourselves an upside down stair right here. This won't suffocate the villager, but it will hide the actual redstone of the build. Make sure that you do not have a solid blocks at the head layer right here. Otherwise, your villagers are going to suffocate and possibly die. So simply go ahead and build up this same little thing for every single one of your villager trading cells going all the way around the build. And this is basically what all of your cells should look like once they are fully built up. Now we're going to do one more important thing. We're going to go around the back side of this build, and we're going to put in ourselves an upper slab in each one of these locations above all of your rails. This way, no villagers get placed on these actual rail blocks. Now in the corner, you also want to go all the way around it like this. Now if you have a random block up like this, then you can also go ahead and put in yourselves a couple more filler blocks just to fill in that corner. We're also going to go ahead and place in slabs in between all of these cells, and then on this side as well. Now on the very ends of your build, you want your walls to be a couple blocks out like this. That way your villager doesn't get placed right here, so just go ahead and fill that in. We're also going to go ahead and put in a couple more slabs right here, just to make sure that no villagers get placed anywhere they shouldn't. Of course, this entire trench should be mined out a block down as well. And now on this side of the build, also go ahead and extend your wall out by a block just for symmetry reasons. And now's the time where you can put in your optional levers on the front of this thing. So if you want to be able to turn off a cell and you don't want villagers in there for some reason, you can just flick that lever. But again, these are optional. If you want to be able to reach those levers while they're like underneath a workstation for some reason, I don't really see when this would happen, but you can put yourself a stair right here and then you would actually be able to reach that lever. But if you don't have a villager in there, then you shouldn't have a workstation in front of it. So now for the villager pickup system, we're going to install that lined up with our rail line right here. We're just going to mine out a little area right here. That way we have some room to work with. This needs to be stair stepped down by quite a few blocks. So we're going to have it stair stepped by 3. So that's 1, 2, and this is going to be our third one. And then our floor is actually down here. So in total, this is going to be 4 blocks beneath the ground, as you can see here. Now, we're also going to have this run into a wall of solid blocks right here. You can put in a lever so you can actually like turn on and off when you want to get villagers. You need a powered rail underneath that, 2 normal rail right here, and then a powered rail going up. And you might also need to add in another one to actually connect that into your main system. So you can test this out real quick to see if it's working. Simply place a minecart on the slope, and it should just kind of bounce back and forth like this if there's nothing in it. Now, if you actually get into this minecart, it's going to have enough momentum to take you up here and then actually put you into one of the villager cells. Quick way to check that everything is working that way. So now that you have this little slope installed, we're simply going to mine out a little 2x2 right here, going down to the same level as our blocks. And now you can put a water source in the corner. This is going to push all your villagers to the one corner. And then if you want to be able to see in there, you can simply put in a couple pieces of glass. So now how you actually get your villagers into this kind of depends on you. I would usually set this up at the end of a villager breeder and then just wait for all the babies and stuff in this area to just kind of grow up into adults. And then they'll get pushed into the corner. And that minecart already took our first guy and put him in there. So this is how you can set up your villager like pickup system. Of course, you can build this on either side of the system. So once you have a couple of villagers in your trading hall and you're actually ready to use this thing, you're going to need to build a village. Now, this is only for Bedrock Edition, but I would just go behind the villager trading hall and put in ourselves a couple of beds right here. You should never use these beds, otherwise you risk accidentally destroying your village, and then all of your guys are going to unlink from the bed and unlink from the workstation, and that's horrible. You don't do that. So yeah, just put them back there somewhere. The villagers don't need to be able to sleep in them. They just need to exist. And now if you're on Bedrock, the best way to actually link a villager to a workstation is to put it down and then just look at which guy actually gets the particles. So you can either see the green particles on that guy, or when you break this, they'll get the storm cloud particles. So you have to do this one at a time, but this guy is going to get our next workstation. So go ahead and put the workstation in front of him. And then the next guy is going to be just randomly somewhere in your villager trading hall. Now, if you have a bunch of villagers like in the stockpile right here or in your villager breeder or something, they're also going to be able to link to your workstation, because any villager in the area can link to a new available workstation. So you want to make sure that they're basically all in your trading hall, or you have easy access to them. So just go ahead and keep doing this one at a time, and you'll be able to fairly quickly, assign each villager in your villager trading hall a workstation. Of course, they don't have to be lectern. Any workstation will do. If you're playing on Java Edition, this is way easier. It's proximity based. So if you place a workstation right here, it should just always link to the guy right in that cell. So you can just go around, spam down a workstation at each one of these guys, and then they'll just automatically link to the one directly in front of them, which is an amazing system, and I am so jealous. If you want a bunch of tips and tricks on how to get the absolute best villager trades in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, check out this video linked right here and down below and everywhere. Seriously, watch that. It's got so many good tricks that will save you a ton of time to get you the best villagers in Minecraft. And if you enjoyed this Minecraft tutorial, then drop a like, share it around, and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.